That is right. This is the Father-Son Fantasy Football Podcast, and we have intro music now.
That's right, everybody.
Yeah, we're happy to see this. We got mic improvements, as you guys can probably tell. Right?
We got a whole new system for you guys.
Whole new setup. We invested into this podcast, and I like it. I like the way it sounds, and I hope that it keeps getting better and better. So today we got a really cool episode, guys, planned for you today. We're doing wide receivers part 1, so we're doing the top 15 in ADP, and we'll tell you where we have them ranked below or above, and what that means is we get to do that. And Dad, anything you want to say?
Not too much. I hope you guys like our new mics. Everything we're trying to get used to. Everything's new. We each have our own separate mics.
And yeah, so it's June 17th, and it's Father's Day. So happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to every father out there.
Fantasy Football Podcast. So happy Father's Day, all you dads.
That's right.
Out there. And we did a best ball draft the other night. Shout out to Tom and Bart.
It was awesome.
Shout out to Tom and Bart. In person. And
our first live best ball draft.
First live best ball draft. Did really, really well.
It was awesome.
I had 6 pick in a 12-team league. You had 10.
10th pick.
Yeah, your team sucks, but it's all right.
It was pretty good. I was happy with it.
Waste $10 for you.
No, we'll see.
All right, so to get started off, we're going to go into the news. And, Dad, you can kick it off with the biggest news, and I'll go with the most recent ones. So you go first. Tell us what the biggest news that you think came out, and I'll tell you what I think about it. Switch a little roles. You go lead. I go co-lead.
The biggest news out there is Martavis Bryant. I think he's going to get suspended for the year.
I mean, he's already suspended for the year.
Why?
Why is he getting suspended?
Dude.
Drugs.
Stuff he's not supposed to be doing.
That just did the smoking thing.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so he's already suspended for a year because of this, and I believe he's going to get suspended again. So this boosts Amari Cooper's stock, in my opinion, and boosts Jordy Nelson's stock.
Jordy Nelson's stock.
I got him in the 10th round the other night in the best ball draft. Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. All right, so what else? What other news, Dad?
How about DeMarco Murray turning down the offer?
Turning down the offer to do a group workout with Terrence West and Jamal Charles to the Saints.
Yep. So Terrence
West got signed.
Terrence West took the job.
Yeah, I think he did this on purpose. I've seen on Twitter, I agree with this take. It wasn't my original take, is that he's waiting till the offseason for injuries to happen. So when injuries happen to like a contending team, he'll jump right in there and get signed there. So a team that's good, because injuries are bound to happen. It's preseason. And it always happens every year. Last year was really bad. Hopefully it's not as bad as last year. Knock on wood.
Right.
And he's going to get signed to one of those teams, and I think he's going to do really well. He's not. I said he was washed a couple episodes ago. I think if he gets to the right place, he's still going to be used. More news. They're saying Patrick Mahomes, quarterback, Kansas City Chiefs, has some zip on the ball, and the wide receivers love catching passes from him. And early reports is that there's already a connection between Sammy Watkins and him.
Which is good news for Watkins.
Sammy Watkins is a guy I was really, really off of earlier in this preseason, but I think if our opinions don't change about any players, like in general in fantasy football, if your opinions don't change, you're not doing fantasy football right. Because with more information, your opinion's going to change.
That's correct.
So my opinion on Sammy Watkins has almost done a complete 180. I was avoiding him because of the offense, but I think he's going to do decent, especially he's getting drafted in the 7th round right now. Like in the mock draft we just did. If you guys didn't check that episode out yet, we did another half PPR mock draft. I took Sammy Watkins in the 7th round. My wide receiver 3 with 2 stud running backs. Like, are you kidding me? I'll take him at flex spot every week.
Yep.
Flex upside too. He has that long touchdown upside. He's 25 years old. Get the deep shots. Ronald Jones signed his rookie contract.
Yep.
That's what I see. And they're also saying he's in line for 15 to 20 touches.
Yep.
So that's good. ASJ, Austin Seferian-Jenkins.
Yep.
Jaguars are liking him so far.
They're liking him so far. I like him too.
Yeah. The offensive coordinator for the Browns, Todd Haley.
And the Cardinals, of course, it's Stan Bradford is their opening day starter, which
I
kind of knew that.
I was wrong with that. I said Josh Rosen was going to be it.
You were wrong. Say it again.
I'm not saying that again. But anyway,
you were wrong.
It was July.
That's
offense.
right.
Okay. Well, Josh Rosen will take over before season ends, 100%. And I look forward to seeing what he can do. I don't think there's much fantasy implications for this year, but possibly next year. Todd Haley, offensive coordinator for the Browns, says make or break for Corey Coleman. Corey Coleman's really talented. I think they're going to trade him. I want to see him go to the Jets, Bills, or even Ravens. He's not that bad, but with the volume there, I think the Jets could be the best possible landing spot. And news came out of Colts camp saying Frank Reich said Robert Turbin is a 3-down back. I think that's just noise. And I was contemplating picking him up in our Dynasty League, but I didn't do it. I was like, whatever.
I think it's noise.
I think Nyheim Hines is going to be really good there as a third down back, and Marlon Mack is still running. Jordan Wilkins, he's a deep shot. They're saying Mahomes impressed Andy Reid with blitz adjustment. That's always good for a young quarterback, seeing that. Patrick Peterson is not going to shadow in 2018. He's one of the best shadow quarterbacks in the NFL preseasons. So him not shadowing could be better. I don't know, but he's really locked down. DJ Moore said he's more ready to contribute to the offense. He's rookie, got drafted first round, so I like to see what happens. I say Elijah McGuire is expected to be the Jets' third down running back. I like Isaiah Crowell there late as a value, but the Jets running backs don't really have a big thing.
No,
Speaking of Nyheim Hines, too, Colts said they have big designs for him in the offense, which is pretty cool. And that's mainly all the news I see. Odell's not going to miss any training camp. He wants to play. He wants to get better. I love all the Twitter videos I see about Odell Beckham because he looks great. His ankle looks fine. He has a big scar. People are like, oh, it's swelled, but swelling's normal for healing. Like, he's got to heal his ankle. But
I think he's going to be fantastic.
I like to also say, yes, I hope he's fantastic. As Giants fans and fantasy owners in some best ball leagues already, I love Odell Beckham.
Yep.
Your boy Josh Allen, who I said sucks, does in fact suck. And they're saying Nathan Peterman can start for the Bills. And I think if you're in a super flex league,
that's okay for now.
Peterman could be a good volume guy.
Yep.
And that's all the news right now. Ronald Jones, 15 and 20 touches, like we said. So before we get into the wide receiver portion of it, we are on Twitter. Follow us at JustinFSFF, and the podcast Twitter is at FatherSonFF. And subscribe to us on iTunes and Google Play. Download it. You listen to it if you want to. We hope we help you out and listen to it. But if you're not going to listen, just tell your friends to download it. Downloads help us.
Hit that subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button. And on iTunes, write us a 5-star review. We'll shout you out. Put your name in it, too, so we know you'll shout rather than just use your name.
Make sure you put some comments in the comments section.
Yeah, we have no 5-star reviews to read this week. It's fine, though. We're starting off still. And with this new quality, hopefully you guys tell your friends and let them know. And we are also on YouTube. So if you want to watch the podcast, which you don't have video yet, but once we get to 100 subscribers, we could have big things planned and possibly implement video. So to subscribe to that, turn the notifications on, click the bell below it so you don't miss a show, and comment to let us know what you think. And listener league info. We have some more interest in that. We got some more subscribers.
A lot of interest in
I will explain how we're going to do that raffle system in the middle of this podcast. So let's kick it off right now with the wide receivers and...
You know, the wide receivers.
Wait, before we go on the wide receivers.
A little tougher than running backs.
Wide receivers is definitely more tough than running backs, but let's go on the wide receivers. All right. To kick it off, number one, I'm going to go with him because he's my man crush. Antonio Brown, every year gets it done. He's a tier of his own. I don't have a problem with you taking him number one overall in PPR leagues. You can take him over Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley. I don't care. If it's PPR leagues, guess what? If it's PPR leagues, take him first. I'm okay with that. I got him 6th overall yesterday in the best ball draft.
Yep.
I was like, 6th PPR? Okay.
Yep.
Every year he does it. He has 4 consecutive top 20 finishes, Dad.
I mean, it's not even debatable why he's number one.
Like, you can have number one and number two as Hopkins or whoever you have number two. I don't know who you have number two. But Antonio Brown, if you're doing tiers, is in tier 1 by himself.
Exactly.
He's averaged 22.2 fantasy points per game over the last 3 combined seasons in PPR leagues. And last season, he had 100 more fantasy points than Demaryius Thomas. When Demaryius Thomas played 16 games, Antonio Brown only played 14. That's 2 less games and 100 more points. That's crazy. And he has touchdown upside, too. He has .51 touchdowns per game. What do you guys say?
He finished inside the top 3 in each of his last 4 years.
Yeah, and
he's as consistent as they come.
Consistent. He gets touchdowns, and not only that, just for these recent wide receivers, but he has had more targets per game over the last 5 seasons than any wide receiver in history. Dad. History.
He's like
history.
Fine wine. He's like getting better with age.
You love these new mics. My dad loves the new mics.
I don't know how these new mics sound, but
you can hear how you sound. It's a little different. We hear our voices now, but it sounds pretty great.
I think Pittsburgh has a 30th easiest schedule for wide receivers.
I didn't see that, so that just helps him out even more.
So he's going to be good. I mean, it's undebatable why he's number one, I said.
All right. Now, currently going second in ADP, also in the first round, is DeAndre Hopkins. I don't have him number 2. You have number 2. All right, so you go first. Tell me why.
I mean, he had a great year last year. All the targets that came his way.
Which is why
Houston threw the ball so much.
Yeah,
their defense was terrible. They had to throw the ball. They were behind.
They upgraded their defense a little bit. I think their game script's going to be more positive.
Right.
And J.J. Watt's back healthy.
What you got to understand is his volume last year was higher than anyone.
And it was unsustainable.
But what you also got to remember
his
is
target share last season was 33.1% of the targets. Antonio Brown's was 27.5. Like, there's no way he's keeping it up. It's probably down to 30%.
Right. I don't think he's going to have the numbers he had last year, but just keep in mind, in 2016, he finished wide receiver 36.
He did. That was also poor quarterback play. So speaking of the quarterback, Deshaun Watson's back.
If he stays healthy, Hopkins is going to be consistent as they come.
I think you're a little biased towards this because you had him last year. But
he finished just slightly behind Brown in fantasy points.
People say, exactly, and Brown does that every year. He had an off year. Well, arguably the off year last year. But DeAndre Hopkins, people are saying him and Deshaun Watson, they had that special connection. And so I went and looked up what DeAndre Hopkins' stats were with Deshaun Watson and without last season. So in games with Deshaun Watson, he averaged 6.43 receptions. Without, 6.38. That's 0.05 difference, whatever.
Right.
1 touchdown with him, 0.75 without.
Right.
Then again, that's also Deshaun Watson's touchdown rate was so crazy, and it's not going to be the same this year, but he's still going to be decent.
Do you know he had 13 touchdowns last year?
That's a lot of touchdowns. And
Higher
also,
than
with Watson,
else.
10.86 targets. Without, he had more, 12.25. And then he had 86 receiving yards with, and then 96.5 without. So arguably, he was a little better without because the offense leaned on him more with all these poor quarterback play came in and just kept them throwing the ball, where Deshaun Watson didn't know how to use Will Fuller, and Lamar Miller did better with Deshaun Watson. Regardless, this year, the offense should be more efficient than it was without Deshaun Watson, but it's not going to be back to Deshaun Watson's last numbers. I think you saw Deshaun Watson's best 6-game stint in his whole entire career right there in his first season because only a couple quarterbacks done what he's done, and Aaron Rodgers did it twice. I don't see it happening again for Deshaun Watson. I think he's going to be a solid asset to your team if you draft him.
Solid all year.
But currently he's going in the 4th round as a quarterback too. I'm not taking Deshaun Watson. But then again, it's a wide receiver episode. I don't care if you take Hopkins first round. He's going to get his targets and opportunity equals points.
Yep.
Next up, who is it, Dad?
Odell Beckham.
Go ahead.
I mean, he has a lead overall upside with Barkley there. There's no question about it. He got hurt last year. It hurt a lot of people who had him.
You think Barkley takes pressure off a little bit and helps them get freed up?
I think it's going to help Eli and Beckham out.
Eli targets him a lot. 25% plus. 5% plus the targets will go to him. He'll probably get around 26 this year. He's a touchdown machine. Big play appeal. He's fun to watch play. So if you wanted to get a guy who's kind of fun to watch play, why not take Odell Beckham? He gets those crazy plays, touchdown celebrations, a little bit of a drama queen, but hey, he gets numbers.
If I get a chance, I'm taking him again.
I mean, right now in drafts, it's possible. You get 12th pick overall, even 11th. You can take Odell, and you can get Julio. You can get Odell. You can get Dalvin Cook. It's a great start to your draft, but I'm not a biggest fan of taking the 12th pick overall because it hurts you in the 3rd and 4th round.
Right, but if Beckham's on the field, he's as dominant as anyone.
He is. He's pretty good. And next up, getting drafted after him, is Julio Jones. I'm going to have you go first because I feel like you're going to be more the voice of public opinion, and I'm gonna say what I have to say about Julio Jones.
You don't like him?
No, people don't like him. People say he doesn't score touchdowns.
He didn't last year. He had no touchdowns last year.
He had 3 touchdowns last year.
He scored touchdowns in 2 games.
Yep.
This year is going to be a rebound for him.
So, see, that's what I'm surprised. I'm surprised you're on Julio. Everyone hates him. He had 29 red zone targets over the past 2 seasons, and only 3 have resulted in touchdowns. That's 10.3%. It's not good. And 79.1% of games with double-digit PPR points the last 3 seasons. That's only behind Antonio Brown.
He still was second in receiving yards.
Exactly. He gets his yards.
Second. He just didn't have the touchdowns.
So people are saying Julio doesn't score touchdowns, and there's a hashtag on Twitter, #NeverJulio. My Josh Hermsmeyer, one of my favorite analysts, he's always saying it as a joke. But Julio averages 0.45 touchdowns per game.
I'm gonna go
Antonio Brown's 0.51. I agree with you on this one. I'm not saying I hate Julio. You can't put a
good.
bet when I agree with you on a guy. Red zone targets, people think, the more red zone targets they had, the more equivalent to touchdowns. It's not true. No. They're unstable and not predictive. All right?
I hope he
in 2016, he was tied for 13th and scored 6 touchdowns. 2017, he was tied for 7th in red zone targets with 19 and only scored 3 times. So it varies. They're not predictive of touchdowns. Targets do help, but if you can't catch them, you can't catch them.
I hope he competes with Brown for the touchdown spot.
Touchdown spot? Hopkins is going to probably lead the league in touchdowns. Hopkins or Odell will lead the league in touchdowns. I can see that. They're both touchdown guys. And Julio, I feel like they should throw more to him in the goal line, but they don't. And they also have Devonta Freeman.
The thing with Atlanta, they got an easy schedule this year. Yep. I think they're the 7th easiest schedule.
7th easiest schedule? All right. Next up, Michael Thomas. People are also off on him this year. I'm not off on him. I love Michael Thomas. The Saints won't be as run heavy this year. He underperformed in touchdown just like Julio last year. Saints should have a higher pass and touchdown to rushing touchdown ratio this year. Because last year, it was equal. They had the same amount of rushing touchdowns as passing touchdowns. This is the Saints. Drew Brees is going to still throw the ball. People think he did bad last year. It's because touchdowns. Like I said, they ran for a lot of touchdowns last year, which is not going to happen this year.
a lot of value from.
This year, they're going to pass more. The passing touchdown efficiency will be up. Michael Thomas, positive regression. He had 27.8% of the team targets last year. He just didn't score. He was still consistent. I had him on my team. Every week he gets you those points, targets and catches, but did not score. This year, gets his touchdowns back up to his rookie year pace. He's a top 5 receiver.
Just like you said, he lacked an upside, but he made up for an inconsistency.
Where do you have him ranked?
7th.
All right, I have him 5th.
I have him 7th.
So, yeah, I like Michael Thomas a lot.
I mean, he only scored 5 times last year.
Exactly. I had him. It was annoying because they ran the ball.
But he still racked up over 1,200 yards.
Exactly. He got his yards. Got his yards.
He's still consistent besides his touchdowns.
Now, next up is my guy.
Who's your guy?
Keenan Allen.
I got him
Keenan
at 5.
Allen, I absolutely love him this year. You have him at 5. I don't have a ranking yet, but I have him 4.
Look, he finally played a full season.
He did play a full season.
Finally.
I have Keenan Allen number 3. He's my number 3 wide receiver behind Odell Beckham and Julio. And Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's 1. Odell's 2. Keenan Allen's 3 for me.
The only thing, he only scored 6 touchdowns.
The Chargers are only. It was all in the second half of the season too. The Chargers, they're supposed to run more 3 wide receiver sets this year, which means more slot work for Keenan Allen. Yep. And no wide receiver was targeted more often from the slot than Keenan Allen in 2017. That was 27% of the time. And they only ran 3 wide receiver sets slightly below the league average. This year is supposed to go a little more. That means more slot work, more targets.
Well, it's going to be more now with Henry out.
And according to Matt Harmon's reception perception, which is a metric that tracks how well receivers run routes against coverage and how much they get open. So you run a curl route and you get open, that adds a point. And according to him, he cleared the 97th percentile for success rate versus man coverage of 2015 and 2017. 2016, he got injured. And through 9 games, he had 25.3% of targets and 1 touchdown. And in his final 7, he had 30.7% and 5 touchdowns. And if you're in a PPR league, half point or full, he's a stud. He's going to do great this year. I expect him to keep up with that second half pace. He's going to be great this year. I love Keenan Allen. I got him in the best ball draft the other day with Antonio Brown. My team is looking good in that league. I like it. Best ball, set it and forget it. I don't really care, but I like the team I had. Wide receiver PPR. He's my number 3. He's your number 6, you said? 5?
5. I got him at 5.
I have number 3. I love Keenan Allen this year. Keenan Allen's great.
He still finished in top 5 last year.
He did. Yeah. All right. Next up, you could go ahead. Davante Adams.
I got Davante Adams.
I do like Davante
6.
Adams, but
I love him.
Wait, where?
I love him.
Where?
Number 6.
Oh,
number
I mean
6.
That's realistic. I'm not
Ahead
going to
of
make a
Michael
bet
Thomas.
with you.
Come on.
Go for it. Go. I mean, you want
his values are so much more than Nelson.
You want to do a wager? Michael Thomas or Davante Adams, more fantasy points for the season.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right?
I love Davante Adams.
More fantasy points, PPR, half PPR for the season. I say Michael Thomas.
I say Davante Adams.
Put it on the table.
Put it on the table, baby.
You know what?
Davante Adams.
I'll take that bet.
You're going to take it.
You better write this down.
That's our 3rd bet.
You got paper? Write that one down.
I don't know how you disagree with me.
What do you mean? I like Davante Adams.
Look,
I just like Michael Thomas more.
He scored 17 touchdowns in the last 22 games with Rodgers under center.
I'm not saying
no one has scored more touchdowns than past.
He has yet to break 1,000 yards. Yet to break 1,000 yards.
He's going to lead the NFL in touchdowns this year.
You want to make that bet too?
We just bet.
I'll make another one.
Will have more fantasy points than Michael Thomas. Put it on the table.
Dude, I'll make another bet with you.
Nope.
Davante Adams does not lead the league in touchdowns.
Nope.
Come on. I like him. He's never topped 1,000 yards in this season. I think this season he does. Jordy Nelson's gone.
With Jordy Nelson gone, his value just increases.
I think it's too high. You have him at what rank?
I have him high, but I don't care.
What do you
rank
have?
6th.
Don't you have Michael Thomas at 5?
Michael Thomas is 7th.
All right. Last Green Bay
That's why the bet is on the table.
Last Green Bay wide receiver to top 130 targets, not named Jordy, was in 2008, Greg Jennings. Rodgers does spread the ball around. And when Rodgers has a good solid tight end, the wide receiver targets are as high. Jermichael Finley was the last one to do that. Now he has your boy Jimmy Graham. I don't know how this must mean you're really high on Rodgers this year.
I am.
Adams has never had 1,000 yards in a season, like I said. I like him. I just don't like him more than others. For example, Michael Thomas. He averaged 4.7 targets, catches, 60.8 yards, and 0.78 touchdowns in the last 23 games. Like you said, there's upside. He gets better each year. He's really young still. I think Davante Adams is going to have a great year this year. I just don't like him more than Michael Thomas. That's all I'm saying. I will take if he's there. I'll take him over Mike Evans. I'll take him over a lot of guys. But all the guys we listed before, I'm taking them after. So I think the ADP has him correct. I do like Davante Adams though, just not as much as you.
Well, the bet is on the table.
Boy,
you're gonna lose that one too. Right now, you're 0-3. Oh,
that's you. You're gonna lose this bet.
Nice.
All right. I can't. Anything? Do you want to say he's gonna? You said he's gonna lead the league in touchdowns.
That's what I said.
You said he's gonna lead the league in.
He's gonna lead the league in touchdowns.
Down the
wrong.
national debt.
Wrong. You're wrong. That's not happening. All right.
Yep.
Not happening. Next up, after Davante Adams, who is it, Dad?
I got AJ Green.
AJ Green. Is that how it goes in ADP? All right. Talk about AJ Green.
I got him at 8th.
AJ. Wow. So you're low on him.
Look. He's
Wait, I'll make another bet.
Look, what's the bet?
AJ Green, Davante Adams. I'll do another one.
Let's do it.
All right.
I mean,
more fantasy points this year. Half PPR. AJ Green or Davante Adams. I say AJ Green. Say it. Davante Adams.
Put it on the table.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic. All right. Dude, you and your bets this year, all right? It's just not looking good.
Well, we're going to find out because we're going to keep track.
You are so high.
You're so high on Michael Thomas, it ain't even funny.
Yeah.
You going to learn today.
Dude, it's...
Look.
What?
Last year, their offense was terrible.
Okay, exactly.
Terrible.
Their offensive line's better. They had Dallas' old... No, whoa. I'm going first on here. I'm way higher than him on you.
Ahead.
Cincinnati. They went in the offseason. They signed some offensive linemen, so their offensive line is better. Last year, that was the problem. They also got Dallas' offensive line coach. You know how good Dallas' offensive line is? They had their coach for their offensive line this year. And ironically, Cincinnati went to Dallas, the coach. He averages 84.2 receptions, 1,241 yards, 9.4 touchdowns each season, at least 15 games. It's a huge bounce back here this year. I like having an early pick in the draft, 102 to 104. And then second round, come around, AJ Green's there. I get a wide receiver with top 6 upside. I like him more than Davante Adams. AJ Green is my not so-called breakout, but I love him in the second round. I think he's one of the best values in the second round. You're getting a guy who should go in the first round.
Who's the quarterback?
Andy Dalton.
Exactly.
Last year, under pressure, he's not a good quarterback. His offensive line was awful last year.
No.
Their center could not do crap. He's in Buffalo now. You're delusional.
He still had 8 touchdowns last year.
Exactly.
He's a
Davante
consistent
Adams
receiver.
scores touchdowns, and so does AJ
Davante
Green. But
Adams
AJ Green has more yards.
Davante Adams is going to blow him out of the field.
Who else does Cincinnati have to throw to? John
Doesn't
Ross
matter.
is second year, possible upside, and that's it. Tyler Eifert's always injured. Tyler Kroft's crap.
It's
and
Andy Dalton.
Okay,
or
Jimmy
Rodgers.
Graham, Randall Cobb, Geronimo
Doesn't
Allison.
matter.
They drafted 3 wide receivers this year.
It's
There's
on
more.
the table.
It's on the table. Dude,
You're
just
going to
like
lose
losing.
those 2 you just made today.
I just made 2 today. What do you mean 3?
2. I said 2.
Okay. AJ Green, bounce back year. I see it coming. Next up, Mike Evans. People are off on Mike Evans. I don't know why. He's had 4 1,000-yard seasons, 2 12-touchdown seasons,
They
68
might be off
plus.
on him because he only had 1 top 12 fantasy
Last
season.
season, he finished as the wide receiver 17. I didn't like him last year. I liked him the year before when he blew up. But he's had 68-plus receptions this year. Winston did get injured last year, which hurts his value. He's better with Winston in. There's more competition for targets in this offense this year. They got Deshaun Jackson, emerging Chris Godwin, who's a sleeper I love this year. Chris Godwin, watch out for him. Ronald Jones is signed. Their offense is high power, which is why I like Winston this year, because they have a lot of weapons.
Well, as long as he can stay healthy.
There's competition in this factor.
If he can
But
stay healthy, Mike Evans' value is
Mike
good.
Evans, I have him around wide receiver 11, I think.
He still
10.
produced 1,000
He still will get
yards
points.
in all his 4 seasons.
He's going right behind AJ Green. I'd rather have AJ Green. You want to make another bet on this?
No, I'm not making a bet on that.
All right. So anything else you got to add on Mike Evans? I think people are off on him, but I don't think you should be. I don't mind taking him.
I think if Jameson Winston is healthy, his value would stay consistent all year.
Yeah, I like him. He's a guy who gets up and catches the ball and doesn't run after the ball because he can't run. He just jumps up and catches it. He's a big guy.
Like I said,
touchdowns.
for the 4 seasons in a row, he had over 1,000 yards every year.
Yep, that's what I said. 2 12-touchdown seasons. He gets his touchdowns and gets his receptions.
Yep.
Next up, a guy who I got in the 3rd round of best ball draft last year. Fell to me, I believe. Doug Baldwin. I had a tough time choosing him over Adam Thielen, who we're going to talk about next. But Doug Baldwin. What do you got to say about Doug Baldwin?
I got him at 13th. He's
What?
He's probably more valuable asset.
Whoa.
He's probably the most
What?
Really?
You have him at what?
13.
Oh, my gosh. He ranks 6th among wide receivers in
No.
PPR over the last 3 years. He's Seattle's best wide receiver. Imagine what he could do with more volume. You know, that's what people say. What if he has more volume? Guess what? Jimmy Graham's gone now. It's more volume. The guy got Rashad Penny, but they're going to be a negative game script. Their defense sucks. What?
They really didn't add a wide receiver to replace Richardson. So I like his upside. He's always gets consistent volume. Connection between him and Wilson shouldn't change.
Dude, you also got to think this. The NFC West, the division he plays in, they upgraded all their cornerbacks. Their cornerbacks. So the defense is going to be harder. Doug Baldwin plays in the slot. They didn't upgrade any slot cornerbacks. He's going to be elite. He has had 29 touchdowns over the last 3 seasons, 75-plus receptions, and 1,000 yards. He's got a nice rapport with Wilson. He's great, and people keep writing him off. Every year he keeps on sliding. I was off on him last year. I take him over Mike Evans. I wouldn't take him over Davante
He didn't have
Adams.
1,000 yards last year.
How much did he have?
991.
991. That's 1,000 yards.
Still under 1,000. Okay?
He's
under
going as the wide
1,000.
receiver 12 right now. I have him in top 10.
Yep. I got him at 13.
I have him top 10. You want to make a bet he finishes in top 10?
No.
I'll put a bet that Doug Baldwin finishes top 10 wide receivers this year. There's 200 available targets in this offense. Yeah, I got Rashad Penny. You making a bet? You making another bet?
Put it on the table.
I say Doug Baldwin finishes top 10 PPR. You say he doesn't. Put it on the table. We got to make a new saying for that. I don't know if I like that. Put it on the table. So you guys should comment in the YouTube comments below of what we should do for the bets. Like we say put it on the table. ESPN, Matthew Berry, and then they do put it on the board. We don't want to be too similar to that. So we'll probably make our own thing. Fantasy
Give
footballers,
us some ideas,
they
guys.
do water bets. I don't want to do water bets.
Give us some ideas.
Yeah.
You're going to say it's on the table. Doug Baldwin will finish top 10.
He's going to finish
no.
top 10 wide receivers.
I say no.
Who do you have ahead of him? Who do you have ahead of him?
I got Tyreek Hill ahead of him.
Okay, we're not talking about him
Adam
in the next episode.
Thielen ahead of him.
I like Adam Thielen. I'm okay
And
with that.
Mr. Consistency, Larry Fitzgerald.
Okay, that's not
That's
a bad
right.
thing.
I'm not saying I don't like Baldwin. I'm just saying I got a couple guys ahead of him.
Is it bold of me to say he might? I'm not going to put a bet on this. Finish ahead of Deandre Hopkins this year.
You're crazy.
I can see it happening.
Dude, we're
What
going
do
to
you
get you tested.
We're going
You
to
need
get
to
tested.
stop.
What do you? Okay,
That's not going to happen.
dude, his 80. I love him. I
mean,
love him.
They don't have no one else there, okay? He's going to get his yardage. He's going to get
I
his
don't expect
fantasy
Russell
points.
Wilson to throw as much this year, but still,
You never know.
still,
No.
he's
No.
a slot wide receiver. Their division upgraded the outside cornerbacks, so he has something to go against them.
You're crazy.
He's
I like
for
him.
top
I'm not
10.
saying I don't like
He's
him.
going
I
as a
just
wide
like a
receiver
couple
12 or
guys
10. He's
ahead
going to
of him.
do perfect at his ADP. I think he's a great value in round 3 if you go running back heavy early on. He's consistent. Doesn't seem like it, but he'll have those big games and win you weeks. Doug Baldwin, he'll have no touchdowns. Then he'll have 3 touchdowns. I think he's great. I don't know why people keep writing him off.
He's another guy who didn't have 1,000 yards last year.
Oh, my gosh. All right, next up.
Okay? And he finished 14th.
Who? Next guy? Or
No,
Doug?
Doug Baldwin.
Finished 14th last year.
He's not going to be in the top 10, okay? You just lost that bet.
All right. Adam
Give me some
Thielen.
music for that one.
What music? I don't have any
Yeah.
music for you.
Yeah.
All I have is this.
I'm going to control the music.
You're wrong.
So wrong.
National
Wrong.
debt.
That's
Wrong,
right.
wrong.
All right.
All right. Now, Adam Thielen. Next. I love Adam Thielen this year. He's supposed to get more slot work. We want that. We want more slot work for Adam Thielen. He only scored 4 touchdowns in 2017. He's kind of like Julio didn't score. Fewer in 2016. He had 5 in 2016. Target share should be similar. Better quarterback, more efficient. The only concern is he does not have a report with Kirk Cousins. But
Right.
I think Kirk Cousins is going to see this guy like, wow, he's good, and target him. I can see another top 12 season. I could even go Bulls top 10, but I like other guys more than him. I like him more than Mike Evans this year. I don't know if you do that. He had
That's
22
pretty
red
close.
zone targets last year.
That's pretty
22 red zone targets and only 4 touchdowns.
He only scored 4 touchdowns.
Only scored
right.
4. This offense can be new, efficient, a great offense. I think Vikings can win the Super Bowl this year.
The only,
They're going to beat the Eagles in the North NFC championships. Their offense is really good. Kirk Cousins is top 5 quarterback for me. What are you going to say?
Look, he should do better with Cousins at quarterback. Thielen gets the yardage, but like I said, he only had 4
Yeah,
touchdowns.
so guess what? Him
I
and Diggs,
think-
both top 15 this
Yeah.
year. I could top 20. I'm not
I-
going to say Diggs is top 15.
I mean,
he's always injured, but
Cousins likes to throw down the field. I think it values Diggs a little more than Thielen. I'm higher on Thielen than Diggs, but I think Diggs might do better with Cousins there, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. I mean, I could see it, but I still think they're going to be really good. Regardless,
they're
I
gonna be
think
good.
both Adam Thielen and
They're gonna
Stephon
be good.
Diggs finished
Yes.
top 24.
Yeah.
Wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
I like Adam Thielen maybe more. Stephon Diggs is my favorite receiver in the NFL, but I'm not going to be like, oh, he's your number one. Stephon Diggs is ranked pretty high in my rankings. We'll share that in another episode in July, probably.
We're going to agree that Cousins benefits that team.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't he? He doesn't hurt it.
Right.
He's going to have his most efficient season ever. He has never topped 30 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins will top 30 touchdowns this year easily. 4,000-plus yards. I can see it. The volume's a little bit concerned because you get Dalvin Cook there and all that, but I believe in Kirk Cousins this year. Right. All right, next up. Tyreek Hill, a guy you have where?
11th. You don't like that?
I'll say he finishes not top 11.
No, I'm not looking at that, no.
He ran 24.6 routes per game. Lots of weapons. May not see as many targets. Sammy Watkins is there. He's a good route runner. He's relying on his big play. That's why I think he's overvalued this year. He had 9 40-plus yard receptions, league best last year. Dude. I'm not buying him at this price. There's Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, Kareem Hunt talk about getting more involved in the passing game. He's not top 15 for me. I don't mind drafting him. He's going way too high for me right now.
He is going high, but I'm going to say two things.
You're taking him.
No, he has 11.3
You can't rank a guy 11 and not
Listen,
take him.
11.3 yards per target. That's first in the league.
Exactly.
Talk about his speed.
40-plus
the guy
yards.
is fast, okay?
He is fast.
Mahomes' hype will be hard to match Smith's 2017 season.
Mahomes is good. I like Mahomes. People are really off on him.
Yeah. Also, they signed Sammy Watkins for $50 million. So,
Tyreek Hill is currently going in the third round. I'm not taking him. I don't want to spend my third-round pick. He's currently going 7th pick, third round, 30th overall. I'm not taking him. I better have Larry Fitzgerald who's going after him.
You can't knock his value.
No, knock his value.
He's fast on the outside.
And before we get into we have 2 more receivers we're going to go through. But before we get into that, I want to talk about this listener in the league. We have some more interest in it, so I'm going to address it. What we're going to do is a raffle system. We're going to, so if you subscribe on YouTube, that's 1 ticket into the raffle system, so you get 1 entry. All right? Subscribe on iTunes or Google Play. That's another point, another entry. But in order to verify that, you got to screenshot that and tweet it at us at JustinFSFF or at FatherSonFF. I prefer if you do it at FatherSonFFF.
What are we doing? A 10 or 12 league?
12-man leagues, there's 2 of us, so we're looking for 10 people to get in this listener league. We're looking to draft in August. We have a whole month.
Yep.
All right, and also
that's going to be fun.
Yeah. So right there, 1 entry point for being subscribed on YouTube, 1 for iTunes or Google Play. Screenshot, send it to at FatherSonFF for proof, and then follow us on Twitter. 0.5 for each account at JustinFSFF, and then another half point half entry for at FatherSonFF.
So come on, everybody! You want to get in the league? Let's do it.
Comment in each video. Limit 1 entry per video. Per viewer, so you can't just spam the comments that you want to be in it. You're interested. Like, say, I want to be in this listener league. 1 comment per video. That's 1 entry. And then these are all 1 points. You write us a 5-star review on iTunes. We'll see it. You say your name. Mention you want to get in the listener league. Mention you're looking forward to this listener league. That's 4 entry points. All right. We value iTunes reviews, the written 5-star reviews. You know what? Make it 5 entry points.
Okay.
So if they rate a 5-star review,
yep,
you're going to get 5 entry points into the system.
Yep.
I'll keep track of it.
Yep.
Sometime in July, we'll do the raffle. We'll do a
Yep.
couple, like 1 per week. We get into the listener league. We want you guys to get in it. We have some engagement already. We gained some subscribers.
A lot of guys want to do it.
Yeah, share our podcast. If you share it on Twitter, if I see it, you tag us and then say, go listen to this guy's podcast. That's another point. So to go over it.
That'll be fun to talk about it all season long.
Yeah, all season long talk about it.
How I'm beating everyone.
Subscribe on YouTube, 1 point. Subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, also 1 point. Send proof to our Twitter, which is also follow us on Twitter at FatherSonFF and at JustinFSFF. Follow us, half point for each one of those. Comment in YouTube comments, 1 per viewer per video. So you can do it 2 times, 1 on each video. Say I want to be in the listener league. Leave a like too. We get to track that. Because you can't really do a raffle on who subscribed, but I could tell. But the comments is easier to do a raffle through. So do that. And then lastly, shout us out on Twitter. Say, listen to this guy's podcast at FatherSonFF. Tag us. That's a point. And then the biggest thing, right, is a 5-star review on iTunes. Mention your name and say, Listener League. That's 5 entry points.
5, everybody.
That's as much as all the other ones. So you can get a total of 10 entry points. And you can keep adding those up a little bit with the YouTube comments per video. But send a proof in that you're subscribed to us, and we'll get you in the Listener League. We'll get you in the raffle. We're looking forward to it.
Like I said, we're excited about that. That's going to be a lot of fun to talk about it all season long.
And let's get into this next wide receiver. He's currently going after the guy we just talked about, which is Tyreek Hill. You got your top 11. You're crazy. Josh Gordon. I love Josh Gordon. A picture of one of him on Twitter. He looks jacked. He just looks absolutely jacked. He's got muscle. He looks quick. I love Gordon. QB situation kind of scares me, but there's lots of mouths to feed too.
There's lots of mouths to feed.
I believe he has a better QB than he did in the past, so there's reason for optimism. But I'm not going to buy him in the third round asking price unless he drops. I'd rather have Jarvis Landry a couple picks later. Right now, Josh Gordon's going the 5th pick in the third round ahead of Tyreek Hill, actually. Now he moved up ahead of him. And you can get Jarvis Landry 2 rounds later. A guy they paid $75 million. You can get 2 rounds later. I think it's a wasted pick in the third round. However, if he falls later in the third round, I don't mind you taking him over Stephon Diggs. I wouldn't. I take Allen Robinson over him. But people are high on Josh Gordon. I get it. But I'm not taking Josh Gordon.
I don't have him in my top 20.
Last guy we're going to go over today. Last guy in the podcast. Old man consistency. Larry Fitzgerald. He's currently going 8th pick, 3rd round. People keep writing him off. I don't get it. I don't understand. What does he have to do to prove you guys? He's going as right now. He's going.
Look, last year he had 29% of the targets.
Yep.
Okay. He's going to return for his 15th season. He's old, but he's still Larry Fitzgerald. Mr.
I think if any of the years he was disappoint, I'm not saying I'm up on him. It would be this year because the QB's different, but he's had bad QBs his whole life. So I don't see it.
Look, he's also on the field for 98% of the pass plays.
Only
Hopkins has more Hopkins.
All right, ready? Over the last 3 seasons, only 6 wide receivers have averaged more PPR points per game, and those are Odell Beckham, Deandre Hopkins, Antonio Brown. Those are 3 of them.
Let me just say this.
Him off.
What other wide receiver they got there?
You guys drafted Christian Kirk.
They got no one.
They got no one, though.
They got no one.
It doesn't matter. He's in the slot.
They got
He's
no
going to
one.
get his targets. I can see 80-plus targets.
He should be okay with
yards,
Bradford there. Bradford's going to be their QB. He should be okay.
Rosen's going to take over, but I think Rosen's going to look at him early and often if he does go in.
But right now, there's no other wide receiver there.
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald's going to be Larry Fitzgerald.
All right. So that's where we're going to stop for today's episode on the wide receivers. So that's just 14 of them. Next episode, we're going to go over a lot. It's going to be a little bit of a longer episode, I think, because we have a guest coming on the show.
Can't wait for that.
He's a secret guest.
Our first guest on the show.
Have a Skype call. I'm really excited to talk to him. He's got the same name as me, Justin, so J squared.
Doesn't matter, really?
Hey.
Really?
We got some thoughts to talk about him. We're going to keep firing stuff off. I'm excited for it. He's really well-known around the fantasy community, and we're looking forward to that episode. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Yes. If you guys have not listened to our last episode, another half PPR mock draft, go check that out. It was pretty fun. And then our running backs part 2 for ADP, it got a lot of views, it's a lot of good. But running backs part 1 didn't get that much. I understand that. But running backs part 2 is a great episode. But running backs part 1, go check that out. It's a good episode. And our half PPR mock. We're going up to about 3 episodes a week now, I believe. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you're hearing this Monday. Hey, we're going to make it done. It's easy. We got content to cut out. It's getting into higher pace. We may back off and do 2 a week, and then later when it hits July, go 3. But we'll try to do 3 this week because we have new mics, new quality. And then we're going to go to 2. And then once July hits, 3 a week. And then August, do 4 and 5, depending on how busy the offseason gets.
Let us know if the new mics are better than the last.
Let us know in the comments below if you think about the quality.
Mics, so let us know
first
about
episode
quality.
Is a little, let us know what you think about the quality, sound effects, all of that. More to come. Mock drafts going to be fun because we got 3 bets today. We're going to do an episode, and then I got recommended about all the bets in the week. Maybe in July we'll revisit.
5 bets already,
we're going to revisit it in July.
Yes.
And we're going to do that.
We're going to update them on them too.
Once again, subscribe to us, download the podcast, write us a 5-star review. We'll shout you out next episode, and you get 5 entry points into the Listener League for writing a 5-star review. Mention your name. So say blah blah blah. This is Justin from New York. That's what I would say. Love the podcast. Blah blah. 5 stars review. Write it in. We'll shout you out. 5 entries to the Listener League. I'll keep that on track. Looking forward to it. I'm really excited for this Listener League. And follow us on Twitter at JustinFSFF and at FatherSonFF. We look forward to hearing you guys comments, what you guys think about this episode. And if you guys want to be in the Listener League, remember to comment that. subscribe, share it with your friends. What do you guys say?
I think I'm more excited than you about the listener league.
I mean, you look really excited.
I can't wait.
You can't wait? Once again, happy Father's Day to all you dads out there.
Yes,
I
happy
love
Father's
you.
Day.
Dads are important in your life.
All right.
Thank you guys for listening, and we hope to see you guys next time. And make sure you write that 5-star review. We'll shout you out. All right, we're out.